Well, thank you very much. I'm really privileged to be there in Davos, a very beautiful part of the world. This is for the first time I'm coming in. I'm from Pakistan. My name is Sahibzada Rafeeqi. I'm a Dean of Civil Engineering Professor and Dean Civil Engineering and Architecture in one of the premier institutions in Pakistan, which is NED, University of Engineering and Technology, Karachi, Pakistan. This particular session, which I was chairing, or the convener of the session, was an analysis and design of civilian structures against terror attacks. This was an invited session. Actually, we have to really work hard, and we are very thankful to the Congress administration and management to let this particular session to be included in the design, because the happenings and the attacks that are happening in this part of the world, in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and elsewhere, they have to be basically strategically looked into in altogether different perspective. The blast loading that most of the structural engineers are conversant with may not be the way it has to be combated. And the three important outcomes of the 100 ideas that I have written over here would be narrated afterwards. But before that, I must tell you that there were three speakers, two from Pakistan, one from Turkey, and the first one was Javed Iqbal, and then myself, and then Nehan from Turkey. The outcomes were that structural hardening should be the last resort in protecting these structures. And this then leads to addressing the issue through passive resistance for such attacks, which are quite different from the most understood blast loading. Because the phenomena that is happening is not the hardcore blast loading that we are familiar with. It's basically something a little bit lesser than that, because the bombs are indigenously designed by people, and they have not that much effect that is being done. It is basically to terrorizing the civilian population and gaining political advantages or whatever is in the mind of those terrorists. So probably the passive resistance towards such, they should be addressed through passive resistance of rather than using brute force. Now, the other outcome that we thought of was that the pre-disaster and post-disaster mitigation strategies should be formulated for these types of terrorist attacks leading to blast effect. Of course, the effects are like that of the blast loading, but of much lesser intensity, and therefore, because most of the pre-disaster and post-disaster mitigation strategies are developed and meant for the real blast loading, I think there have to be something that have to be done for this. Then the people who are basically involved in the designing, planning of the structures, of the civil structures, they have to be conversant with the behavioral aspects of the structural forms and components, which needs a special attention to make it robust and tough. This particular session had almost 30 to 40 people sitting and had a great interaction with them. There were question answer session, and the presentations were articulated and very well taken by the audience. And it was, I must say, that it was one of the very successful invited session that this Congress or the conference might have seen. Thank you very much.